In this episode, we will be talking about all the different buildings that the Terran race has. Almost all buildings are large type and have one armor. I'll be noting the exceptions as we come to them. As mentioned in the special things about Terran video, all Terran buildings will burn down if their health goes below 1/3 of maximum. The command center is your main base structure. It builds SCVs, minerals and gas are returned to it, and it grants you 10 supply. The command center can lift off and fly. It can also have comsat station and nuclear silo add-ons. You can always build command centers. The barracks lets you build infantry combat units, marines, firebats, ghosts, and medics. It can also lift off and fly around. It has no add-ons. You need to have a command center in order to build a barracks. Supply depots grant you 8 additional supply each. They have no other special features, but they're a much cheaper way to gain supply than building command centers. You'll need to build a lot of them, so planning how to lay out your base to where to put your command centers in your base can be very helpful. You can always build supply depots. The refinery can only be built on top of a vacant Vespene geyser, and allows your workers to harvest gas from that geyser. You can always build refineries. The engineering bay researches upgrades for the units which come out of the barracks. Its armor upgrades also work on SCVs. And the engineering bay allows you to build missile turrets. I think I might have forgotten to put a missile turret down. Yeah, looks like I did. Okay.
Not enough minerals.
The engineering bay allows you to build missile turrets, and it can lift off and fly. You need to own a command center in order to build an engineering bay. The missile turret is an anti-air defensive structure. It can't attack ground units, but it can attack air units, and it detects. Unusually, it has 0 armor, not 1. You need to own an engineering bay in order to build a missile turret. The Academy contains special upgrades for some barracks units, and is needed in order to build several of the units which come out of the barracks. Particularly, you need an Academy to build a firebat, a ghost, or a medic, but you don't need one to build a marine. You also have to have an Academy if you want to make a comsat station. You need to own a barracks in order to be able to build an Academy. Comsat stations are add-ons to the command center. They have an energy bar and one ability, Scanner Sweep. The Scanner Sweep ability gives you vision and detection of an area anywhere on the map for a few seconds. Scanner Sweep is useful for looking inside enemy bases that have been keeping your scouts out, watching enemy army movements, and revealing cloaked enemies where you don't have other forms of detection on hand. You need to own an Academy in order to build a comsat station. The bunker is a defensive building. While bunkers themselves cannot attack, you can load infantry units into the bunker, and those infantry units can then attack things that are outside the bunker while they themselves are inside. This works for anything that comes out of the barracks, and SCVs too. Since all the non-SCV units have ranged attacks, they can use their ranged attacks on enemies outside the bunker, but the units that are inside a bunker can't be attacked until the bunker itself is destroyed. This helps your fragile infantry kill a lot more enemies before they themselves die. You have to have a barracks in order to build a bunker. The factory builds vultures, siege tanks, and Goliaths. It can lift off and fly around. You need to have a barracks in order to build a factory. The machine shop is an add-on for the factory. It contains upgrades for factory units and allows the factory that it is attached to build siege tanks. The starport builds all Terran air units. Wraiths, dropships, science vessels, Valkyries, battlecruisers. It can lift off and fly around. You have to have a factory in order to build a starport. The control tower is an add-on to the starport. It contains upgrades for wraiths, but you don't need a control tower on a starport to build wraiths out of it. You do need a control tower on a starport to build every other starport unit, though. The armory contains weapon and armor upgrades for Terran factory units and starport units. It is also required in order to build both Goliaths and Valkyries. Unlike its counterpart, the engineering bay, the armory cannot fly. You need to have a factory in order to build an armory. The science facility enables science vessels to be made out of starports, and contains upgrades for science vessels. Through its add-ons, it also unlocks access to the highest tier of Terran technology. You need to have a starport to build a science facility. The physics lab is an add-on to the science facility. It is needed to be able to build battlecruisers from a starport, and it contains battlecruiser upgrades. The covert ops is an add-on to the science facility. It is needed to be able to build ghosts from a barracks, and contains ghost upgrades. The nuke silo is an add-on to the command center. It can build and store a nuclear missile ready for a ghost to target it. Each nuke costs 200 minerals, 200 gas, and takes up 8 supply while it's waiting to be used. You can't store multiple nuclear missiles in one silo. You need to build extra command centers and nuke silos in order to store multiple nukes at a time. You must own a science facility with an attached covert ops to build a nuclear silo. These are all the buildings that Terran have access to.